Hi guys, how you doing? This was your first week maybe that you didn't have school. So did you get to go outside and play with your friends and do a whole lot of stuff you couldn't do last year? I'm hoping. It's been beautiful this week. Gorgeous. And you can see I'm in the kitchen because that's where I am all the time. At my house, at my school, at my work, I'm always in the kitchen. So I was thinking about things as to why I'm in the kitchen. And I want to tell you what happened. So a long time ago, my daughter Colleen got very sick and she almost died. And it was very, very, very sad. But she got better and she's fine now. And one day when she was a little bit older, we were sitting in the car and the radio was playing some Bible stories. And so this is one of the stories that they read. It's from Mark 5. And it says, let me see where it says. Jesus went in the boat back to the other side of the lake. That's where he was talking to people. And there a large crowd gathered around him. And a ruler from the synagogue came to that place, Jairus. And Jairus saw Jesus and bowed before him. And a ruler's like a governor or a mayor or something. And he begged Jesus again and again. He said, "My daughter is dying." So Jesus went with the ruler, and many people followed him. They were pushing very close around him. And there was a woman there who had been having problems, and she touched his clothes. And Jesus felt the power go out of him, and he turned around and said, "Who touched me?" But he kept looking around, and the woman knew she was healed. She came to Jesus and she bowed at his feet and she told him the whole thing. And she said, Jesus said, "You have been made well because you believe. You will have no more suffering." And Jesus was still talking to her when some men came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue ruler, the one that we're talking about. And the man said, "Your daughter is dead. There's no need to bother the teacher." But Jesus didn't pay any attention to what the man said. And he said to the synagogue ruler, to Jairus, "Don't be afraid. Only believe." So Jesus went to the house, Jairus' house, with Peter, James, and John. And there were a lot of people crying and a lot of confusion. And Jesus said, "Why are you crying? This child is not dead. She's only asleep." But they laughed at him. He told all the people to leave, and he went into the room where the child was. He took the child's father and mother and his 3 followers into the room with him. And then he took hold of the little girl's hand and said, "Little girl, I tell you to stand up." And the girl stood right up and began walking. And they were all amazed. And Jesus told the father and the mother, "Don't tell anybody about this." But he did tell them, "Go give her some food." All right, so we heard that story in the car, Colleen and I. She was, I don't know, maybe she was about 9 or 10. And Colleen was listening to it, and I didn't think anything of it. And she says, "That's me." I said, "What do you mean that's you?" She said, "That's me. That's my story." She almost died, and then she got better. And she's fine. There's no ramifications. So then I started thinking, Colleen has a story in the Bible. It's her story. So then I thought, what's my story? So I started not thinking about it all the time, but I started thinking about it. And then there's another story that's one of my favorites. It's from Luke 10, it's verses 38 through 42. It's about Mary and Martha. So while Jesus and his followers, these were friends of Jesus, right? They were sisters, and they had a brother, Lazarus, and they were friends with him. So while they were traveling, Jesus went into the town, and a woman named Martha let Jesus stay at her house. Martha had a sister named Mary. And Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet and listening to him teach. And Martha got angry. She had a lot of work to do. She had to do the food. She had to clean the house. She had to make sure everybody had things. She had to make sure everything was done. And Mary was just sitting there. So Martha went in and said to Jesus, "Lord, don't you care that my sister has left me alone to do all the work. Tell her to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, you're getting worried and upset about too many things. One thing is only important. Mary has chosen the right thing. So Mary chose to listen to what Jesus was teaching. That's pretty cool. Martha chose to take care of the people who were there. Now, a lot of people look at this story differently, right? Some people think everybody should be listening to Jesus and not worrying about the work. I don't necessarily think that way. I think Martha did her job. We talk about that, all the jobs we have. And I think Martha did her job. I think her job was to make it possible so that Jesus could Jesus could talk and Mary could listen. I don't know if Martha knew that that was Mary's job, but I think Martha had her own job. That's kind of the story that I relate to, because I often feel like I'm the one doing the work, but I don't feel angry about it. I feel more like that's my job. I like doing it. I'm not so good at having conversations with large groups of people. So that's my story. So Colleen has a story, and I have a story. There's a lot of stories in the Bible, and I think everybody has one. You just have to find it. I have one more story, and it's a story and that's the thing I wanted to say. The stories can change, or you can add them, right? So you can feel this, and basically what I'm saying is that you feel a connection to things that have happened in the Bible. And isn't that the point? Isn't it the point that it's supposed to connect with us? And it does. And it doesn't matter how, or even where, or even how many times. There's always a connection. So you got to find it. And how do you find it? You find it in reading the Bible, or you find it in going to church and listening to the stories, or doing it online and listening to what people say. And sometimes you find it in other ways, not just in the Bible, but in other ways. And so I added a new story, and the story I added came about because of what I'm doing with the videos. Because as I do these videos, the same topics, the same themes come back to me over and over again. There's a connection with everyone. There's a rhythm to life. And the one that I say all the time, it's simple. And so I found what I'm talking about. And in this story, I'm going to find it. Wait, it's this one. So in Luke 10, verse 27. Luke 10, verse 27. So Jesus, I'm not sure the background of this, but this is what it says. The man answered. I know what it was. One of the disciples asked somebody, what did Jesus say was the most important thing to do? And this is what the man said. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your strength, and all your mind. And also, you must love your neighbor as you love yourself. It all comes down to that. It's simple. It all comes down. Love God, love people. And we know what that means to love God. We know that we do things in God's name. We know that we follow his rules. We know we learn more about him. We sing about him. We talk to him. That's what it means to love. To love other people, smile at them, help them, give them a break, help your neighbor, but also help the people in the street. If you need to be safe, walk around them. If you look like they need you to help them pick something up, help them pick it up. And so there's a songwriter, Danny Gokey, and he wrote a song. And it's a really cool song, but this is the chorus to the song. That means it's repeated over and over again. You got to keep it real simple. Keep it real simple. Bring it back, right back to ground zero. Because it all comes down to this. Love God, and love people. We're living in a world that keeps breaking, but if we want to find a way to change it, it all comes down to this. Love God, love people. That's my other story. And that's the thing. Aren't we doing this again, making it simple? There's a story in the Bible that's yours. You might never find it, but it's yours because God put it there. God tries everything to make sure we get it. And sometimes we get it, and most of the time we don't. But He gets it. So, listen to the Bible, listen to the stories, listen to the songs, and you'll find your story. And if you find your story, you gotta know it came there. It was sent to you to help you through. Colleen found her story. She set it up so that I knew there was a story for me in there. And there's a story for you in there. And when you find it, use it. Use it to do what you're supposed to do. Love people, love God. Take care of what you're supposed to take care of. And that's your job. Your job is found in the Bible. Maybe you won't see it in the Bible. Maybe you'll see it in a poem, or maybe you'll see it in a song, or maybe you'll see it because your next door neighbor did something nice for you and you want to pass it on. You might go in a Dunkin' Donuts and somebody pays for you and then you pay for the person behind you. Doesn't matter where it is. Just know that God made it for you and you're going to follow it. And He did it because He loves us. How cool is that? I want you to have a really good week. And look around for your story. Maybe your story is just, helping the neighbor bring it in. There's stories like that in the Bible. And maybe your story is something bigger. Whatever it is, it's there. And I know you're going to find it. Have a great week. I love you. I miss you a lot. We'll be together soon. Take care.